So, Coach, just talking about obviously Pierce's recruitment here, and Coach Stu calls you, and just kind of what was that phone conversation like, and what did you tell him from that point when he first saw Pierce?
So Stu was out recruiting. He actually, I think I can't remember exactly how it worked out, but I think he may have had a day off, or a game got canceled. So he actually went and saw Pierce play in a summer league game, and called me and goes, "Hey, there's this kid out here that just, he's a little wild, he's a little all over the place, but he plays extremely hard. He's got decent size to him. I think he was committed to a junior college, if I remember correctly." He goes, "Man, I think this is a guy we could get and bring him in. Has a chance to be pretty good. Do you think we should offer him? I don't think the kid needs to come on a visit. And if you have slam dunks in recruiting, especially where you don't have to bring a kid in on a visit, things like that, it makes it a little bit easier." Stu's like, "I think we need to make a move on him." Again, for me, like Stu said, for him it was just how hard he played. He said he was just out there, just stood out, and he never shut it down. Was always full go, and I think that pretty much described Pierce pretty accurately over his time here.
And talk with Coach Stu about this, but obviously something like that in a recruiting trail, it's pretty rare when you see something like that, where it's almost kind of happenstance and everything kind of falling into place, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, nowadays recruiting, there's so many people that have watched these players now. No one's really hidden anymore. It's very hard to kind of find that hidden gem per se, because of nowadays technology and everything like that. Twitter, no one's hidden anymore. So for Stu to go up there and just again, happily fall across this game, went and watched it, and saw this kid, and he was pretty good. And heck, the funny part about it, like I said, is Pierce never came on a visit. The first time that I met him or he met anyone else besides talking, to Stu was the first day he showed up for school. So next thing you know, a couple years later, he's the all-time hit leader and set all these records. It's a pretty cool story once you think about it. The things that he's done from where he started to where he ended it.
I remember we talked before that season where, of course, it was Pierce's freshman year, and you said we got this guy we really like, but he's a little bit down the depth chart. But second week of the season, he winds up getting an opportunity in the starting lineup, and obviously he never relinquishes it from there. Let's kind of talk about what that states about his character and his work ethic and his ability to really move up the depth chart that quickly to not only become a fixture in the lineup, but become the star player that he was here.
Yeah, again, as a freshman coming in, you don't usually have a lot of expectations. You expect, you think he could be pretty good, but again, you don't know if that guy's going to mature and grow and be able to handle Division I baseball, or if it may take him a little bit more time. I think Pierce was the perfect storm of everything. Didn't overthink the game too much. Played the game really, really hard, almost to the point to where your eye was always drawn to him because he stood out so much. Had some wiry strength as a freshman, hit the ball. Again, wasn't outmatched. The moment wasn't too big for him. And then again, from there, it was pretty much smooth sailing. Again, the guy pretty much solidified himself there. I can't remember. I think he may have hit 6 or 7 home runs as a freshman, if I remember right, or something like that. But again, you look up a couple years later, and it's a guy that, again, came in and did a pretty good job. No one that we expected to really come in and move the needle from the very get-go. And then, you look up and the guy just still going. He loves baseball. He was in my office last night, actually, and just said, "Hey, Coach, if I could play baseball the rest of my life, that's what I want to do." Even now, his career's done. He's still trying to find somewhere to go find a home and play a little bit more. That just shows you his passion for the game he was ate up with it. All right, he just loves it so much, and he, as a guy that, again, looking back, we enjoyed having a ton.
And of course, being a coach and being a part of that recruiting trail, sure you have a lot of stories, but this is one that's going to stand out over years to come, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Again, you're talking about, at the end of the day, the all-time hits leader, right? Obviously, again, RBIs, doubles. There's tons of stuff, but you're talking about a guy that broke records, right? A guy that never came on a visit, was committed to a junior college, was overlooked, again, that guy, again, all these things that come into play are how hard he worked, his passion for the game, the way he dedicated himself to it. Those things didn't just fall into his lap and make him great. He worked at it every day. He cared about it. It mattered to him. And again, a guy you look back now, 10, 15 years from now, man, Pierce is a little different too now, right? He beats to his own drum. I think that's, people would all tell you that about Pierce. But when you look at it 10, 15 years from now, it's a guy that beats to his own drum that broke records. That was phenomenal. That was a great player, and you'll get to reminisce about it, and I'll watch videos of him playing for years to come, and a guy that, man, really changed our program here for us.